How do we hear? How do we see? What makes up the air we breathe? How does a plane fly over the sea? How do the planets float so weightlessly?
Let's go! Let's go!
It's technology.
Let's go! Let's grow!
Science, you and me.
Let's go! Let's know!
We're learning every day.
Let's go! Let's grow!
Engine leads the way.
Hello everyone, I'm Nana.
And I'm Gigi.
Welcome to Endangered, the program that takes us on a trip around the wide and wonderful world we live in. There's so many places to go, so many creatures to get to know.
Hi everybody. Let's go already. Where we're going today?
We are going into the deep blue ocean because we're going to learn about the waters that surround our planet, the oceans. I don't know if you know, but our Earth is more water than soil.
What do you mean?
If you take a look at the map of the world, you'll see more water than solid land because the Earth is made up of 71% of water. And another thing to know, we get most of the air that we breathe, oxygen it's called, from the waters in the oceans around the Earth.
How does that happen?
The creatures in the waters, huge, big ones, and tiny, tiny small ones that create huge communities called coral reefs, do their thing and make it happen. Make a note of the name coral reefs because we'll be spending lots of time finding out about them. With the oceans, nothing that is important to us can happen.
You don't know for sure, do you?
Well, I do know people who do though.
Oh, in that case, I think we should be hearing from them. Oceans and water are a big deal for us. We need it to be and we need it to breathe. So let's go!
Let's go! Let's know!
We're learning every day.
Hi everyone, I'm Yana. I'm Samara. We're from Mombasa, which is on the coast of Kenya. We love living here because the weather is great and we can swim a lot and we love going to the beach. And this is the Indian Ocean. Did you know that even if you're thousands of miles away from an ocean, it still has a huge impact on your life? Yes, it does. To learn more about oceans, we're meeting up with marine biologist Dr. Fiona.
Good morning, girls. I'm so excited that you want to learn more about the ocean.
Dr. Fiona, can you tell us what a marine biologist does?
A marine biologist is someone that studies the ocean and the animals that live inside it. It also includes people who study the ecosystem and how all of these different animals interact with each other.
Why are oceans important to us?
The surface of the Earth is 71% ocean. You can imagine how important it must be. The oceans play a big role in regulating our climate and the temperature of the Earth. The ocean itself and the organisms that live within it, they produce up to 80% of the world's oxygen.
What lives in the ocean?
Oh, the ocean is very, very diverse. Actually, we only know about 5% of the ocean. We still have so much to explore, and from what we have explored, we know that it contains a really wide range of animals, all the way from the big ones like whales to tiny, tiny microscopic ones, which are actually the organisms that produce the oxygen in the first place.
Like trees and other plants, they produce oxygen through a process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process which converts carbon dioxide and sunlight into sugars, which the organisms then use for energy.
As a marine biologist, I'm so excited to see that there's young girls out there who are super excited about learning about the ocean. And what is the best way to learn about the ocean? Is to get in it. Let's go!
And our ocean treasure hunt begins. It's quiet here. Let's get closer to the coral reef. It looks like a city with different streets and houses.
That's a very good comparison. Just like our houses give us shelter, the coral reefs provide shelter for fish, and they also provide a place for the fish to have their babies.
Now it's getting crowded. That's what I like to call a traffic jam. So many fishes, and they are all so different. That fish is totally see-through.
That's a glassfish. If it stayed still, we could actually see her internal organs.
Like an X-ray.
And those over there, they're called angelfish. They are omnivores. They eat plants and other fish.
There are no angels at all then, eating other fish? What about this one, with long spikes, flashy fins, and bright stripes?
Ooh, that's the queen of the ocean jungle, Her Majesty the lionfish.
Wow! That's a pretty flower.
That's actually not a flower, Yana. It's actually an animal. Even though it looks like a plant or a rock, coral is considered an animal. This is because it cannot make its own food like plants do. Corals are made up of hundreds to hundreds of thousands of individual animals called polyps. Polyps have tentacles which they use to catch small animals for food. Corals also live together with microbes. The microbes use photosynthesis to make sugars and then give the sugars to the corals. That's why the colonies of corals grow in warm, tropical waters close to the surface. They're also usually found near areas with waves. The waves bring with them food, nutrients, and oxygen to support the animals and plants that live in the coral reefs.
This one looks like a brain.
And it's actually called a brain coral.
And this one with the crazy hair?
That's a sea anemone. The sea anemone is the first animal in the history of the earth to have a mouth and a stomach. Anemones are real pioneers of the animal world. They are also the first ones who created movements and developed specific types of cells called nerves. This is why they can also feel. But be careful not to touch it. Sea anemones are related to jellyfish. They can sting. Corals are very, very diverse and so beautiful. It's important to protect them because even though the corals are growing up here, they can influence corals all the way down the coast, down to Mombasa, down to Tanzania, and even in Mozambique. We have to keep all the coral reefs alive so that they can help each other and sustain life.
Everything is connected.
Yes, indeed, everything is connected.
Let's go! Let's go!
Engine leads the way.
Coral colonies are usually found in wavy places. You can make waves at home to better understand waves in the ocean. Just put water and a bit of oil in a jar or bottle. And close it tightly. Roll the jar side to side and observe what is happening. Obviously, waves are not caused by oil floating on the water. However, this activity is a good picture of the movement of ocean waves. Ocean waves are created by energy. This is power moving through the ocean water. Most of the time, the energy comes from the wind blowing on and disturbing the surface of the water. Other things cause ocean waves too, such as the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon. This causes tidal waves or tides. When you move the bottle, you're seeing energy move through the water to make waves, just like out in the ocean.
We're learning every day.
Look at that funny guy.
Oh, this is a cuttlefish. Cuttlefish have 3 hearts.
Wow.
And they're masters of camouflage. They change color to match their surroundings, even in complete darkness. They're called chameleons of the sea. Oh, look here, another sea creature that can do that.
An octopus. She is trying to squeeze inside the coral.
Ooh, I think we're making her anxious. She's changing color to become invisible. And because octopus are boneless, they can squeeze into very tight spaces. They are also very, very clever.
Does all marine life live on the coral?
Well, not all marine life actually lives in the coral, but almost all marine life in the ocean relies on the coral to a certain extent. It provides fish with food, particularly the small fish, which are the food for the bigger fish. And a sign of a very healthy coral reef is a reef with sharks, because it means that the whole food chain is present.
I'm glad there's no sharks around here. But look, there's a snake.
This is a spotted snake eel. They're not actually reptiles like snakes, they're fish. And it won't hurt you. He's just another fan of the coral reef looking for food here.
And look there, isn't that a turtle?
It's a hawksbill turtle. Sea turtles in particular rely on the coral reef to find food. The hawksbill turtle eats sponges. And corals and sponges often compete for space on reefs, with sponges winning that battle most of the time. So the hawksbill turtle helps the coral reclaim its space and grow.
I get it now. Many animals help the coral, and the coral helps the animals. Everything has its place and everyone plays their part.
We're learning every day.
Dr. Fiona, you said that coral reefs are alive. Is there anything that we're doing that hurts it?
Yes, there is things that we do because of things like climate change, and with the ocean's temperatures rising, it's actually causing things like coral bleaching events. This is when the things that make the coral alive, the polyps I mentioned and the microalgae, they die.
Why are the oceans getting warmer?
The oceans are getting warmer because of this phenomenon of climate change, because of all the different compounds like carbon dioxide, methane, things like that we're putting out into the air. It's trapping the heat. But because the temperatures are rising so much, it's actually changing the pH of the oceans.
Science, you and me.
Wow! They finally came up for air! They looked so comfortable underwater among the flower-like rocks and lionfish. I thought they'd stay there forever.
And they weren't worried about water in their faces. I would have been worried about that.
I wouldn't have been worried about that.
Okay, I suppose it's not a big worry. Not like the worry I feel about the coral reef.
Why are you worried about the coral reef?
I'm worried because Dr. Fiona spoke about something called climate change. I've heard a lot about climate change, but I'm not sure what it is and what it does.
Dr. Fiona was talking about how some gases that we give off through perfumes, factories, and fires create a cloud that traps the heat and that changes things like rainfall and the temperature, which is how hot or how cold it is in the air and in the sea and everywhere.
So like when people say the rains are late or it is too warm for this time of the year?
Exactly, yes. And what that does is it kills the part of the coral reef that helps to create oxygen that we need to breathe. The coral loses its beautiful color and all the other animals who live in it lose their home.
So we need to find a way to stop the coral reefs from dying.
Exactly.
How can we do that?
Let's keep thinking about it and come up with a plan. In the meantime, let's see what Tamara and Diana are up to next. I bet it's something exciting.
I think it will be very exciting and important.
It's the only turtle reef center in East Africa. And what we do is basically bring in any turtles that seem unwell. We do an assessment. We look at the turtle and we see, are their eyes a bit sunken? Do they have any damage?
How many turtles have you saved?
In total, through our bycatch and release program, we've saved over 21,000 turtles. In our rehab center, we get about 4 patients every month. We keep them until they're ready to go back. So they're being fed with octopus, with shrimp, live crabs and prawns as well.
I can see the octopus tentacle right there.
Yeah.
So what kind of animal is a turtle?
Turtles are reptiles. They are cold-blooded. They need the water to be a little bit warm so that their body can function properly.
Do turtles live on land like tortoise?
They don't. They actually live in the ocean. Key characteristics that are different between the turtle and the tortoise is, for example, their flippers. So turtles have flippers so they can swim, whereas tortoises have almost like claws so they can actually walk on land. So Local Ocean just got a phone call from one of the local fishermen, and by accident he got a turtle stuck in his net. So we've gone over, we've gotten the turtle out of the net, and now we have to release it back into the ocean. Will you help me do that?
Yes!
Let's go!
Yeah, there you go. Whoa! Oh! Hi! Hi! Go! Go! Oh! Bye! Let it go! I can see one. Dr. Fiona, thank you so much. We learned a lot about the ocean.
I'm so glad you had a wonderful day as young marine biologists.
My favorite part was exploring the coral reef.
It was beautiful, wasn't it? And remember, we can all do our part to love your local ocean.
Bye!
Have a wonderful day. Bye!
Let's take a moment to slow down and focus. Taking some time to pause is good for us, to help us stay calm. Sit comfortably with your back tall and your face relaxed. Imagine yourself sitting on a beach watching the water. Take deep breaths in and out as you listen to the sound of the waves. You can close your eyes if it helps you feel more relaxed. The waves are coming in and going out. Breathe in and out at the same time. In and out. In and out. In and out. You can do this exercise whenever you feel worried. Just remember, breathe in and out like the tide.
And you lead the way.
So, Gigi, can you remember what we've been talking about so far?
Yes, I can.
Tell me then.
Yana and Samara were talking to Dr. Fiona about how important oceans are for making oxygen for us to breathe in. And they were talking about the coral reefs that make the oxygen because they're in danger of dying.
That's a good summary. I remember all the creatures they got to know. Did you see the zebrafish crossing in the traffic jam? And then there was that flashy lionfish and fish that looks like snakes.
There's one thing that is confusing me.
What's that?
If the earth is made up of more water than soil, then why do we still call it earth? Why don't we call it water?
That's a really, really good question. I think we should think about it while we find out what Yana and Samara have been doing at the Kenya Marines and Fisheries Institute.
On a daily basis, we monitor the quality of water in our ocean, that is along the Kenyan coast.
Can you show us how to do it?
Here we have a meter, our SI meter, that we normally use to measure temperature in the field. So just put it on, and now you get your temperature measurements and your pH measurements.
What exactly are you checking for?
When you measure the temperature and pH, it tells you exactly how safe our water is for the marine and for the sea animal.
So you have to go to every area to test the waters.
There's some areas where you find the sewage input directly into the ocean. So that's why you have to keep on checking, collecting the litter using the net.
Whoa, it looks like a fish. Yeah.
Oh, welcome, girls, to my lab. This is where I spend my time as a marine biologist. Today we had a boat ride, and you remember the samples we collected?
Yes.
So right now I'm going to show you how we do the analysis of those samples. As you can see, we have the hard plastics, we have the soft plastics, then the plastic line. From there we can enter the numbers and know how many hard plastic we had.
3.
3. So here you write 3.
What is the most endangered species?
In Kenya, turtles are the ones which are endangered. They feed on jellyfish. Sometimes when you have floating litter, they confuse this floating litter as food. So when they eat that, those litter goes into its stomach and it affects its growth.
Science, you and me.
My name is Ayman and this is my sister Alvina. We live in Tanzania, very close to the beach. We like to play in the sand and in the waves. It's so much fun. And one day we saw something really amazing. This is Miss Esther. She and her team built this house to protect sea turtle nests. Mama turtle came out from the ocean 2 months ago and laid the eggs in the sand. And guess what? The turtles have hatched. And Miss Esther and her team are going to help them get out and get safely to the ocean. We wanted to help too, of course.
So, you guys, it's now time to release them. Are you ready?
Yeah!
There are many things that can harm the turtle eggs. Some animals can eat them, and even people can steal them. And when the baby turtles hatch, birds can catch them and eat them before they reach the ocean, where they will live. So we are doing some very important work now, making sure the baby turtles get to the ocean safely. Hooray! Made it! Bye! Kwaheri!
Hey, do you know that exercise changes the brain in a way that protects the memory and thinking skills? Let's go! Let's practice to be a good swimmer. Let's practice together. Number 1, breaststroke. To me, this looked like a chapati. Let's make chapati. If you want to swim fast, do freestyle. If you're tired, backward. Every day, you will feel and think much better.
Look at Taffy swimming as fast as he can, away from that shark. He is right to be careful because sharks don't attack unnecessarily, but they know their place and we should know ours.
I still haven't found out why we call our planet Earth, even though it's made up of more water. But I have an idea.
I can't wait to hear what you think.
I think we call it Earth because we live on the Earth's part. But we need the water and the air to survive.
I think that's very clever. Gosh.
And I think if those turtles could talk, they would call the planet water. because that's where they live. Even if they're born in the sand and in dry land.
Impressive thinking. And to think, we are in danger of spoiling it for everyone and everything if we don't look after the oceans.
Yes, we must stop with the plastic waste. There are other things we can use. We must stop taking too many fish out of the sea. There are other things we can eat. And that doesn't mean eating more meat, because that also harms the planet. We must stop doing things that can change the climate and make it difficult for life as we know it to survive.
I agree with all your suggestions. And you know, even if we can't stop other people from doing harmful things, we can't show them why oceans matter and how they can change their behavior to help the coral reef survive.
The other thing we can do is to remind them that the earth was here first. So we need to make sure that protecting it comes first in everything that we do.
What is the biggest threat to the ocean? Open here to find out. It's me.
It's kind of true, because we're the ones like putting all the plastic in the ocean, and we should change.
If we find a way to live together, then there wouldn't be any endangered species.
That's a perfect reminder for us all to ask, to learn, and to love.
And remember to make it fun!
Are you enjoying Engine? Post your comments on our Facebook or Instagram page at Engine TV Africa. Has the show changed the way you look at science, the way you approach learning, the way you see the world around you? Let us know and you might be invited to appear on the show.